What's your 5 cent on the bus relocation from Bay Street?
I'm for it.
Doesn't really make any sense. Not at all.
I think it's terrible.
It is unprofessional because then you have to look at the elder people inside the country.
Some behemoths, they don't think before they talk and before they get upset.
The CEO of the Bahamas Telecommunications Company breaks his silence on planned staff cuts. A shooting on Augusta Street takes the country's murder count up by 1. Atlantis President George Marcotones has resigned, and the nation's newest senator sworn in. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NV12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, BTC President Leon Williams breaking his silence today on its planned downsizing exercise, insisting it is necessary to prepare BTC for the opening up of the cellular market. Williams also revealed that while union officials have blasted BTC chiefs for offering voluntary separation packages, some have already accepted them. Jasmine Brown has the story in this report.
Today, Williams said with competition on the verge of entering the market, the cutting of jobs should come as no surprise as BTC prepares for cellular liberalization.
This is not a emotive conversation to have. This is a simple business conversation. How does BTC survive competing against a company in the same space that will lower its roaming rates, that will lower its rates to the customer, that has 300 employees? I don't know whether I should say that everyone knew this day will come. It was just a matter of time, because I'm sure that BTC employees knew prior to this date that BTC has 799 employees. Cable and wireless in the entire Caribbean of 13 countries have 1,350 employees. That includes Jamaica, Barbados, Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, Antigua and Guyana. 1,350 employees. And the Bahamas by itself has 799 employees. These are simple facts. It's nothing made up.
Williams pointed out that BTC has gone through a number of downsizing exercises since the late 1990s. He says BTC has just under 800 employees, nearly double the staff of those looking to earn the next cellular license. He also confirmed that the VSAPs being offered this time around are similar to those that were offered in 2011. According to Williams, information regarding VSAPs was sent out to BTC employees last week. Sources have suggested BTC will be asking about 150 employees to voluntarily leave the company as a part of its efforts to prepare for cellular competition this year. Williams said no final number has been decided on.
I don't have a fixed number. We'll see what happens, because there are alternatives on how do we reshape the company. We'll just look at what the uptake is, Ms. Brown, and then from that uptake we make further business decisions. This is a dynamic organization. It's in a dynamic industry, and to sit down today and you try as best as possible to forecast the future, but you really don't know what it is. There may be need to reshape and resize after the new entrant comes in. You never know.
Williams also said he is surprised that union officials from the BCPOU and BCPMU have vocalized their disagreement over the VSAPs, especially considering some of them have accepted and even requested packages for employees.
There are people who are suggesting, for example, that this is a bad thing. Some of the very people who suggest that VSAP is a bad thing, I'm talking about some union officials themselves, has benefited from VSEP. Since I've been at BTC, I've had requests from the union to provide VSEP to some employees, and I've done so. So my question is, how is it good for some employees, but it's bad for some other employees?
Union leaders have maintained they will do whatever they have to save Bahamian jobs. As for the sickouts last week, Williams says they had minimal impact on BTC operations.
We've got 2 flagship stores, the Marathon Mall and the Southwest Plaza. We've got a flagship store in Freeport Pioneers Way. So the franchises were still open, so our customers could still do business. We simply directed them to the franchise stores.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
A man was shot dead while at work on Augusta Street today. Police now on the hunt for his killer. Simone Davis was at the scene and filed this report.
Police are pleading to the public for assistance in investigating the country's latest murder. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll, said it was after 3:00 p.m. when officers responded to the Augusta Street area and found the victim in a yard suffering from multiple gunshot wounds.
This afternoon, shortly before 3 p.m., police received reports of gunshots being discharged here in this Augusta Street North community. Officers responded to the scene where they met a male lying in a yard suffering from multiple gunshots to his body.
Roll said the victim was at work at the time packaging recycled batteries when a gunman wearing a hoodie approached him and fired several gunshots.
Our preliminary investigations at this time suggest that the male, who was an employee of the establishment here that smelters these batteries for recycling, he was there doing his packaging when a lone male entered the yard dressed in a gray hoodie, accosted this male and began discharging shots in his direction, hitting him to the upper body. EMS responded to the scene and pronounced this male lifeless.
Roll could only say the victim was an adult male with dreadlocks, and it is believed he is a resident of Gibbs Corner. The CDU chief did say the victim did not live in the area and wasn't alone when he was shot.
We believe he is a resident of the Gibbs Corner area, here along with the owner.
And where was the owner at the time of the shooting, can you say?
I don't want to get into all of the details like that. Just let's leave it. Yeah, this is preliminary. I don't want to jeopardize this investigation.
According to Roll, this death brings the murder count to 23. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Minister of Health Dr. Perry Gomez is defending government's plan to implement national health insurance. While Dr. Gomez says government is progressing with the multi-million-dollar health plan, he revealed government has yet to decide exactly how the Bahamian people will fund it. Gomez says there will no doubt be a new tax that he insisted would be better than death.
Am I correct in understanding the member for North Andros and the Berry Islands and the Minister of Health in telling this Parliament that we are to expect a new tax to support the implementation of national health insurance based on what he just said?
That was Fort Charlotte Member of Parliament Dr. Andre Rollins, who stood on a point of clarification, questioning if NHI would be funded by a new tax.
But, Fort Charlotte, as you hear in this chamber, people, if you don't have this or that, you die. If you're black and you're poor, you die. Surely a tax is better than death.
And that was Gomez's response to Rollins, who said during House proceedings last week he would not support irresponsible national health insurance designed to burden Bahamians with additional taxes. Government had announced NHI would be launched in January 2016 at a cost of $600 million, more than double what was projected in 2002. Gomez said it's ambitious but will be accomplished.
This is a most important initiative. Speaker, the journey to this implementation has started in earnest. The NHI launch will be realized in January of 2016.
Under the previous NHI plan, government planned to fund it via payroll tax. Gomez said a decision has not been made on whether government will go the same route. Well, the health minister's assertion that a new tax would be better than death is the stupidest statement opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says he has ever heard. Minnis told NB12 today, although he agrees that everyone should have access to quality health care, he doesn't think the Bahamian people should bear the burden of additional taxes.
That's the most stupid statement I've ever heard, that taxes are better than death. You know, I'm sure he probably regretting he ever made such a statement. Taxes, the Bahamian people are under all sorts of stress. They can't pay mortgage, they can't buy grocery, they can't meet their commitments in terms of electricity, etc. So you're going to increase more taxes on them, and he's saying taxes are better than death? I mean, I've never heard anything so stupid in my life.
Minnis said he cannot support government's plan to implement national health insurance at this particular time because, quote, nobody knows what they're doing. With less than a year until NHI is set to be implemented, government has yet to determine how much it will cost or how it will be funded. Gomez suggested yesterday a new tax could be introduced to cover costs. Well, Minnis said today, you cannot tax yourself out of a financial problem, and he suggested an increase in taxes could increase poverty.
Already you have a 12.5% poverty rate in the population. So when you're going to tax them even further, you're going to cause even greater increase in poverty and possibly decrease in the quality of living and health care within the country.
Minnis added, before government moves to implement NHI, it should first focus on correcting infrastructural problems affecting public health care. He said the F&M had a complex, comprehensive plan, which, among other things, would have eliminated overcrowding in hospitals and introduced technological advancements, which would have ensured every Bahamian, no matter the island, had access to things like X-rays and ultrasounds. When asked if he felt NHI implementation should be delayed, Minnis said he doubts it will be introduced in January 2016 as promised by government, as the Christie administration has a history of missing deadlines.
Well, we know they're going to delay it. Have they ever done anything on time? Have they ever done anything on time? So we know, keeping with their track record, we know they're not going to do anything January. The only thing they may probably try to do is expand even further on the drug plan and say this is a compound or a part of our plan. Please.
NB12 can confirm Atlantis president and managing director George Marcantonis has tendered his resignation. While there are minimal details at the moment, a resort spokesman says the hotel will make an official statement shortly. Kyle Joaquin reports.
After a successful 10-year run with Atlantis, George Marcantonis is saying farewell. He joined the company in 2005 just after a one-year run as the CEO of Atlantis The Palm in Dubai. Since taking the helm as president and managing director of Atlantis Paradise Island 10 years ago, Marcantonis has overseen the hotel's rapid expansion into perhaps the most successful resort destination in the Caribbean. It was under his leadership that the hotel played host to several major events and shows like the Miss Universe pageant in 2009 and Live with Regis and Kelly. The hotel also ventured off into sports tourism with the birth of the Battle for Atlantis tournament and PGA Golf Stops. Marcantonis, a native of Zimbabwe, is a decorated hotelier having received numerous awards throughout his career. Last year, he was named Caribbean Hotelier of the Year by the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, and in 2010, Marcantonis won the Cacique Award for Hotelier of the Year. He was awarded the University of Houston's Distinguished Honorary Lecturer Award in 1995 and an Honorary Alumnus Award from the Hospitality Faculty of that same university in 2000. In 2004, both the hospitality industry in Nevada and the University of Nevada recognized him with their respective prestigious Hotelier of the Year awards. The president is also credited with being one of the masterminds behind the introduction of some of Atlantis' most well-known restaurants like Bobby Flay's Mesa Grill, Nobu, and Virgil's. Throughout his years in the Bahamas, Marcantonis stressed the importance of hard work on the job as he somehow rose from being a front desk clerk at the Carlton Hotel in Johannesburg, South Africa, to heading one of the largest resorts in the region. We caught up with Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe right after getting the news. He said the contribution Marcantonus made to tourism in the Bahamas is priceless, having helped the government sustain the industry over many years.
Mr. Marcantonus has been an incredible partner to the Bahamas. He's distributed his wealth of knowledge throughout the organization and has helped the country grow. He's been a wonderful partner working with the Bahamas and showed at all times his love and interest in our country. No doubt Atlantis is one of the leading resorts in the entire world, and we're very proud of the work that he did for the Bahamas and will continue to do for the Bahamas.
And with over 35 years' experience in hospitality, Wilchcombe says he wouldn't be surprised if Marcantonus receives a great offer elsewhere.
Wouldn't be surprised if he was sought after because of what he's done in the Bahamas and the fact that he brings so much to the table. He'd be one of those players that people will be after. And so considering his tremendous contribution, the work that he's done, he would certainly be among those persons that I think people will go after. And I think in his case, he would have been sought after by the international community.
Now, it is still unclear as to why Marcantonus has decided to part ways with the resort, but we will keep you updated as the story progresses. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.